keep that one too. They're walled up. They're walled up. That was better than the other two.
Welcome back to JR Pro Shot Vids, everyone. Today we got future Hall of Famer Frankie Lavoie here, and we're going to teach you how to change hand positions.
So Frankie today is going to show you how his ball rolls with his normal release and also with more and less rotation. Show you some different ball reactions out in the lanes and maybe give you a different look out there as well. He's also going to talk about when those different types of releases come into play and when they're best utilized. All right, Frankie, can you explain a little bit more about how and when you would use different types of releases, different amounts of rotation?
Sure, I'll do my best. I'm definitely not an expert at explaining these things. I'm very much a field player, but hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of the different hand positions that are used. As we talk about this, remember, keep it simple. It's not about developing 12 different hand positions and releases. We're basically just looking for 3. You've got your normal one already. You just need to work on 2. A little bit more forward, a little bit more rotation. Once you get good at those 3 releases, you'll be able to attack any pattern.
So Frankie's gonna explain what he feels when creating different rotations with his hand, and gonna give you a couple different drills to do at home to practice that and perfect it.
First thing I'm gonna do is line up with my regular hand position so I can hit the pocket. There's a lot of talk out there about changing your hand position, but how do you do it and when do you use which hand position? We're going to talk about that today. There's a lot of ways to complicate this. We're going to try to keep it simple. There's really only 3 hand positions that you need to attack a variety of patterns. The first one being your normal hand position. That's easy. From your normal hand position, you want one with more rotation and one with less rotation, or more forward roll. Let's start with forward roll. That means you're going to keep your hand behind the ball through the release, and you're going to see end over end roll. When would you use an up the back release? I would use an up the back release when I want to control the pattern. I want a smooth, controllable shape. That's fresh conditions. That's if I'm keeping my angles closed or in front of me. Now that we've covered end over end roll, we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum and rotate the ball more. That means you're going to get your hand around the ball. You're going to see a lot more side rotation and more violent response off the friction. When would I rotate the ball more and use a higher rotation release? I would use that when I'm trying to open up my angles and cover more boards. More rotation means the ball is going to be cleaner through the front part of the lane. It's also going to be more responsive to friction. Less rotation, or more up the back, means the ball is going to read sooner and it's going to be overall less responsive to friction. Everybody's got their normal release that they're comfortable with, but how does it feel to be more up the back or to rotate the ball more? For me, if I'm trying to stay up the back of the ball, I'm going to want to feel the weight of the ball roll down my index finger at the release point, and if I'm trying to rotate the ball more, I'm going to want to feel the weight of the ball roll down closer to my pinky finger so I can rotate my hand around the ball. Bowling is a lot about feel. You can watch 100 YouTube videos of people telling you how to do it, but it's useless if you can't feel it yourself. So here's a drill you can do to try to feel like your hand is more up the back. The easiest way you can isolate your release is by coming all the way to the foul line, getting in your finishing position, swinging the ball next to your body, baby swings, and you can actually look down at your ball. It doesn't matter where it goes on the lane, you just want to look at the ball and look at your hand and see what it feels like for your hand to be behind the ball as you release it. Once you've done the drill a few times with the forward roll release, you can go and throw a full approach shot with the forward roll release. Now for the higher rotation release, same thing. You're going to come to the foul line, get in the same position you were in before, have these baby swings here. And for this one, you want to make sure that once your thumb clears the ball, you can feel your fingers rotate under and around the bowling ball. walled up. They're walled up. They're right. Phase AI. No wonder you liked it. You bowled here. When you're doing these drills, what you do with your hand at release is drastically going to change how your ball rolls down the lane. So in order to see that clearly, make sure you use a ball that has more than one color on it. Okay, let's throw one last one with my normal release this time so I don't forget about it. Okay, let's recap with the boys now.
All right, we're back from the lanes. Frankie did a couple different releases along with his normal release. And as you can see, he created a lot of different ball motions with the same ball, right? Frankie, can you explain a little bit more of what you saw and what you felt out there?
Yeah, I think creating different releases is super important, especially as you start traveling or you bowl on different patterns. You saw that with the exact same ball with 3 different releases, I was able to play 3 drastically different parts of the lane, cover the entire lane essentially. So as you get a little bit more advanced, you can go from 3 to 5 releases and so on and so forth. But for now, just focus on those 3 and it'll take you a long way. So a quick recap for you guys. Forward roll is something I'm going to use on fresher conditions, on tough patterns, because that's going to be the most controllable and I want to control the pattern the most. Also, if I'm keeping my angles really tight in front of me, I'm probably going to want forward rotation to keep things stable and not have such a jerky reaction down lane. Now the flip side of that, rotation is going to make the ball be cleaner through the front part of the lane. It's also going to be more responsive to friction, and that's something I'm going to use usually as we get further left and I need to cover more boards. Just remember to keep it simple, go through the drills, develop a feel for what each release feels like to you, and repeat it over and over again. There's really no shortcuts in our game, you just have to do things over and over again until it becomes comfortable.
Thanks to Frankie for coming out here and telling us a little bit more about the different releases and creating more or less rotation. It's a pleasure to have a 3-time major champion in the house. We really do appreciate that. And for you guys watching at home, every shot in the league, the lanes change a little bit. You may have to manipulate your hand positions to create more or less rotations. So hopefully you guys at home can utilize those different hand positions and improve your game. All right, so question time. For all of you watching out there, if there are any questions you have for Frankie, what would you want to ask him? What's that one thing you want to know about Frankie and his life on the PBA Tour? Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.